You know, after making a video on the Viggen not too long ago, I have to say I was not expecting to make another one anytime soon. But here we are. This one is the JA37D, and there's really very little difference between this and the JA37C. The most notable being the fact that you can carry 6 Aim-9Ls instead of the RB24Js. And in addition to the weapons loadout upgrade, you can also have a whole lot more flares than you would with the JA37C. Other than the flares and missiles, I don't think there are any differentiating factors between the C and the D variant of the Viggen. And for whatever reason in my head, the C variant I thought was 11.3 this whole time, but apparently it's not. It's 11.0, and this, the JA37D, is at 11.7. It really doesn't matter that much though, because even at 11.0, that doesn't mean you're going to get a whole bunch of down tiers, because in my experience, 11.0, I very rarely get a down tier at all. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide whether or not the 0.7 BR difference is justified by the missiles and extra flares. Now, the flight performance of the Viggen is really nothing that crazy. It's very outclassed nowadays. I think it had its time. I wasn't playing top tier at that time, but there was a time where I think the Viggen was a solid plane as far as I know. And even now, it's not really that bad. It's just like so okay. But if you get in a dogfight with like a MiG-29, an F-16, an F-14, a MiG-23, MLD or MLA, you know, you're gonna have a hard time. However, you do get 6 Aim-9Ls, and Aim-9Ls are almost like the standard for a top tier missile at this point. It is one of the best missiles. It's really nice. They go really far. They track really well. They pull really hard. They have a lot of flare resistance. You know, what's there not to like about them? Also, I feel the need to say this real quick. These are technically RB-74s, but they are essentially Aim-9Ls in game. They literally are the exact same thing. It's the Swedish version of the Aim-9L. I bet there is still someone who's going to get mad at me for calling it an Aim-9L instead of RB-74. Anyway, yeah, the Aim-9L is basically a missile that has all the characteristics of a good IR missile. It's kind of, I guess, like almost like the standard now for a top tier missile, considering how many planes have them in game now. Now, as far as this affected the way I played the Viggen, I found myself literally the only difference was instead of having to be closer to people to shoot the RB-24Js or Aim-9Js, I could be a lot further away, so it was a little less dangerous, I guess. Also, they changed the gun sound slightly. It kind of sounds cool now. It sounds like it hits harder. I don't think it actually does hit harder, but it sounds like it. Not sure exactly when that was changed, but I welcome change, I guess. Now, I don't really have that much interesting gameplay for you, but I'm going to show you kind of what I've been doing with this plane, aka lobbing my 9Ls at people. Starting out, I'm up a bit higher, kind of waiting for an opportunity to dive in and shoot my 9Ls at people. I see that opportunity now. It seems like a lot of these people are distracted. Get one off on this F-16, try and lock up the J7, couldn't quite get him, so I switch over to the Mirage. I send another one off, very nice, very easy, and a third on the J7. That's 1, 2, and 3. Wow, such amazing and skilled gameplay. Because I spent all my silver lions on crewing the new vehicles and spent the rest on those stupid crates, I didn't have enough to expert this crew. I'm so smart and massive brained. Tried locking up the F5C, couldn't quite get him locked in time, and by the time I did, it was way too late to pull lead, so that's a kill I probably could have had right there, but I just didn't. I guess I could have air braked or something, but like it wasn't even worth it anyway. Skipping forward a few seconds, I see a missile coming from the stratosphere and look up to see where it came from, a MiG-23. Was going to try and get one of my missiles off on him, but the F-16 below me lobbed a missile in my general direction, and to make sure that wasn't going to come for me, I dropped a couple flares and didn't get the missile off on the MiG-23. No matter though, because I get one off on this F5, look down at this F-14, another one off, and pull my nose around a little bit more, one more off on this F-16. There's 1 kill. 2 kills, and 3 more kills. This is the absolute epitome of skill-focused gameplay. Obviously, that is complete sarcasm, and I SMH'd my head in my plane. There are still 2 guys that I was hoping I could pick up at least one of them, but an F-16 rains down a couple more Aim-9Ls from the stratosphere and rips his plane apart in the process, but I guess he got the 2 kills, so, good for him. I swear when I get games like this where all my missiles connect and no one really tries to do anything about them, I feel like I just don't deserve the kills. Like, wow. I pushed a button 6 times. Another game, I'm basically going to do the exact same thing. All these guys were spotted a second ago, and I'm trying to just figure out where they went. There were like 4 of them. Ended up getting 2 missiles off on 2 of the ones that I eventually could sort of see again. And then there's a Mirage F1C who was right below me, so I cut my afterburner, start turning a bunch, and try and get right behind him. Start trying to get gunshots here, but the rudder did not do as I wanted it to, but eventually corrected and got the shot off for 3 kills. Gonna keep my head on a swivel a whole lot right now, because when you're playing a map that's on this time of day, it's so difficult to spot people that it's like, it's annoying. I mean, you should kind of be doing this either way, because it is top tier jets after all, and it literally the name of the game in top tier jets is situational awareness and positioning, like more than anything else, at least in my opinion. Anyway, making my way over to this MiG-29, I got my teammate in the F-14 right behind him, so he's not really going to be able to take the full commit head on, at least I was hoping not. He shoots a missile off, I flare it, he kind of pulls off a bit, and he dives under, and I hit the shot. Gotta say, this gun is extremely satisfying to use. A MiG-23ML and a Harrier show up to my left, so I'm gonna start pulling my nose that direction. ML shoots a missile off at me. That's not gonna hit because it's head on and I flare it. He starts looking towards me again, I shoot a 9L at him, and he doesn't flare it. Not gonna dodge that without flares. Shoot another one at the FGR2. Really stupid launch that had zero chance of hitting, firing from that angle. What can I say though? I don't really have the largest brain all the time. All these guys are pretty slow right now, so I can kind of afford to immediately 180 and turn him back. Harrier's going the opposite direction. I shoot off a 9L. He's not paying attention. He doesn't have those periodic flares on, so that's gonna hit and result in another kill. Phantom is right in front of me, get a crit, didn't really do that much apparently, and he didn't combust like I really hoped, turning around to try and finish off the kill, but my teammate does that for me. Unfortunate. Only one guy left in this MiG-23, by the time I get over there he's going to be long dead anyway, and as soon as I start heading in that direction, he crashes. Unfortunate. Also, side note, I swear top tier games are going faster than ever right now. I feel like one team just dominates like 90% of the time, and it's just over so quick. Like, quicker than it was before Apex Predators, which was already like stupid fast. I don't know. Could just be me though, and I could just be losing my absolute marbles. I guess I'll show you one more game. I have a couple pretty bad blunders in this game, and it results in my death, which is quite unfortunate, but it is what it is. To be honest, it's mainly because I don't really have much other interesting footage, and there's actually a sort of a dogfight here, so, you know, why not show it? A couple 9Ls off on the J7E and MiG-23 below me. The J7E is a noticer though, and he flares that off pretty quickly. MiG-23 on the other hand was a bit distracted and did not try and flare that off. Line up another one on this J7E. This time he's not paying attention. I don't see any flares coming from him, so that's another kill. Up next is a MiG-23 up high. For whatever reason, I assumed he didn't have his sights set on me, even though I see that third missile come out from his plane. Luckily, I look back in time and have enough time to flare it off, although it was pretty close. He's going quite fast, and I am kinda not, so I'm gonna try and roll in and cut him behind him. Unfortunately, I didn't start pulling early enough, so I couldn't get a shot off there, but it seems his attention has shifted to somebody else, so I'm gonna be able to get behind him, warm up one of these 9Ls. He's flaring that, so I couldn't get a lock for a second, but then he stops and doesn't really flare anymore until it's way too late, and apparently doesn't cut his afterburner either. I guess he could have though, I couldn't see an afterburner, so maybe he did. Tornado goes below us, try taking a shot, miss, probably could have hit that wasn't too bad of a shot, and very narrowly avoid a missile that came from that ML that I didn't know was there. Probably deserved to die there, but I guess I got a little lucky. More missiles headed my direction, but I can drop as many flares as I want because, as I stated earlier in the video, this thing has a whole lot of them. Missile off on this MiG-23, wasn't about to watch that because I got two incoming planes right here, and at this point I'm not exactly in the most advantageous position. F-16's close around, an F-4J is right behind me, he's not too much to deal with, but as you will see in a second, you will see some absolutely just abysmal attempt at aim. Got him to overshoot, but it took a little more time and I lost a little bit more speed than I probably should have. So it's going to take a second to get my nose around and take the shot. Line up a shot. Completely whiffed because I'm absolutely terrible at War Thunder, and I was 100% ready to die at this point. There's an F-16 coming in, and a MiG-23 who I'm assuming is not far behind him. I am now a sitting duck, moving approximately 0 speed. Should have died right here, tried getting out of the way of his guns. It kinda works, I guess. He shoots my vertical stabilizer, but it doesn't do too much to it, apparently. Oh, and the F-4J crashed, so I don't get credit for that, unfortunately. Now I'm just gonna try and build a little bit of that speed back up, but this being a Viggen, it does not accelerate that well in comparison to a lot of other planes around this battle rating. Well, I say around this battle rating, but it is 11.7, so it doesn't accelerate as well as any of the other 11.7s. F-16's coming in. He starts air braking hard, which I didn't really expect, so I left my afterburner on for a little bit too long. Start flailing around trying to lose speed. He's full air brake, no afterburner, and I put my back on right here, which is what killed me. For whatever reason, I just did not expect him to commit to this and was fully convinced that he wouldn't, but he did, and kills me. How unfortunate. I made a mistake though and got punished for it. That's just how this game goes. Okay, JA37D Viggen. It's extremely okay, and it's got 6 really good missiles, so therefore, just like a lot of the other top tiers now, it's going to be relatively effective. And to be honest, to my surprise, I actually was having a decent time playing it, just like the J7D I did a couple days ago. It's not like I was doing crazy well in it or anything, but just like the J7D, I just found it weirdly enjoyable. I don't know why. I'll probably get back to like all the new premium vehicles that I haven't covered yet next. It still blows my mind that I haven't finished doing all those yet. There are so many. Maybe I'll do a video like how not to suck in the MiG-23ML because I feel like a lot of people could use that. Alright, that's gonna be it for me today. See you guys next time. Peace.